Hey, good morning. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here. It is early here on the West Coast, and I've got my delicious cup of coffee and just a little noodling to keep Megsy awake or put her to sleep or whatever. I love that. Heads up. It says, warning, we've detected copyright audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. What? They give me a copyright strike for my own noodling. It's not even arranged chords. Oh, man, that is quality stuff. That is some good stuff right there. Well, I mean, I know there was a lot of clams in there, but you're going to get me to for a clam bake? I mean, really, that's over the top right there. I don't even know what to say. Oh, dear. Welcome, everybody. All right, so Jason, Gay, not Chiquita, Megsy, of course. Ted, hey, welcome, my friend. And the lovely Karen B. We got Trey Clark Theories. Working the punching bag, I see. Jeremy Stewart, and who else? Sue, hey, Escobar, welcome. Glad you're here. Oh, hey, Zach, good times for all. That was really awesome what you did this morning with those foraging stuff. That was I learned some things. I always try to keep my mind on that. On the good stuff. Well, welcome. We're going to do some things this morning that take a little bit of a left turn. Oh, I wanted to mention, for those of you who were here yesterday for the Unintended Consequences episode 21, yeah, I did something there that I probably shouldn't have done and probably won't do again. And well, that's maybe not what you're thinking. No, it was a little bit left turn for unintended consequences, where typically I'll keep these things a little bit separate. In that the Sunday programs are typically a little bit more, I don't know, spiritual centric, if you will, more based in Scripture, whereas unintended consequences, the intention there has always been really, again, from the beginning, the Awakening Project is to better understand the awakening process and how we can facilitate it, and also to create a community of people that they can come together. And so I typically keep those apart, but also I have to, part of the reason for yesterday was to simply say that, it would be disingenuous for me to, try to keep them separate to such an extent that I didn't acknowledge, right, that I have a particular way of seeing things, but it is not based in any kind of religious worldview, although it may be, I don't know, in some ways close and have some of the same ideas within it. It comes from personal understanding. I long ago left any kind of religion or anything like that. It was somebody who commented in the chat that it seems odd that I would claim no religion and yet quote from religious texts. And it's like, well, I mean, you can turn anything to a religious text. I can take the ingredients list on a can of Dr. Pepper and make a religion out of it. That doesn't really mean anything. But what I'm trying to do in that sense is, again, not to convert or convince anybody, but simply to relate my experience and help better explain the way I see things. And if that's helpful to people, then super great, right? That's helpful. If people don't see things that way, okay, right? I don't feel personally attacked or that I have to stomp my foot or anything. It's like, this is my experience and this is the way that I see it. And, so there you go. So like I said, no, but the thing, that wasn't what I shouldn't have done and am not going to do again. That was actually singing. I shouldn't have done it. That's the second time I've done it. And I'm so as badly out of practice as I am with the instruments, because I haven't touched them for a long time, even longer that I haven't actually, tried vocals. And so it really does, it gets pretty rusty pretty quick, so I won't do that again. That was pretty embarrassing listening back. Although, to be honest, when I've done it recently, it's because I got nudged a little bit on doing that. So there was a message in it. So I'm not. I won't take it back. I've considered trimming those beginnings off because it's embarrassing to listen to. It's so bad. And but a couple of people, every time I intended to do that, people go, "Hey, I really enjoyed that." I'm like, okay. I guess there was a reason for it, so I'll leave it there. Okay, but that having been said, we'll kind of turn the corner here and spend some time in the book of Proverbs. And again, the Proverbs challenge was specifically that there are 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs, and they're often 31 days in a month. And so the idea is if you read one Proverbs a day, generally you take a look at the one dated for the day. And so if it's the third of the month, you read the third chapter of Proverbs, and do that for 3 months. And I believe, it might have been my experience, that it gives people if you let it sink into you and you meditate on these things, it will increase your wisdom and understanding of the world. And it's just amazing how once it gets inside of you, right, even things that seem only tangentially related to other things turn out to be, because of the nature of the interconnectedness of all things, it helps. It helps broaden your understanding. And so it's a bit of multidisciplinary or, sort of polymath, if you will. It helps you understand and get a better, broader view of a variety of things. And so when these things soak into you, it offers wisdom. And so, but today what I'm going to do is take a look back. The 30th chapter of Proverbs is a little bit odd. In that it's out of character with the rest of it. And then when I say that, it's because the most of the book of Proverbs is attributed to Solomon, that is the son of David, who later became king. The 30th chapter is the sayings of Agur, the son of Jacob. And as a result, it's a little bit odd, and it's actually, there's some kind of funny parts in there, but it's written very differently. And so I thought, well, what I'm going to do is, because I missed the 28th and 29th, I'm going to read those today because they're it's got some of my favorite stuff in it. And so if you want to do the 30th, you can do that again on your own. It's a little bit different. So I'm going to just cover the 28th and 29th chapters of Proverbs in a couple of different styles. And so we'll take a look at that. But I really wanted to begin this morning. I was thinking about it. I was on my way out this morning to get my lovely bride some donuts. And because, Krispy Kreme was a little too far away. I couldn't quite swing that in. But there is a little donut shop around the corner, and we hadn't tried it, and I was hoping they would be good. And I went over there, and the gal was so nice. She was just so delightful, and got a dozen donuts, and she threw an extra one in there. And then I tipped her, and then she threw another one in there. And again, she didn't say a word about me not wearing a mask. She was just super delightful. And it turns out they're really delicious donuts, so hopefully we'll be going back again at some point. But I love when people are great. And I just started, thinking how, again, the last several weeks, especially doing the streams, they had been really difficult weeks leading up to it. And so there was almost a feeling of like I just wanted to take a time off and really kind of recenter myself, and working from the understanding that it was a while back that I sort of got this view of that, again, I had previously, it feels like when they say take care of yourself first, right, so that you have something to give, it feels a little selfish, right, self-centered, doing yourself first. But then I got this view of it, the difference between a stream and a reservoir. And the stream gives immediately of what it has, and it's life-giving. But when the source dries up, it becomes dry, and there's nothing for anyone. But when you have a reservoir, it fills, and although continuously, it puts a little stream, a little dribble on the other side, so it doesn't completely hold all of it, but it does do it very slowly. And then it fills up. And then once it fills up, it's got a reservoir for a very long time. And then when the source dries up, it still has something left to give, and it can continue to give. And once I adopted that view some 20 plus years ago in my life, it has made an enormous change and has helped me to give more. And I got to this place of, I just was thinking about this morning, how wonderful it feels to give. Had a friend, I guess I have to set the stage a little bit in that, I've mentioned before that a few years, just not very long ago, it's been about 5 years now, I guess, that my wife and I went through some just really difficult times, and we were almost homeless. I mean, it was, we were literally living in a travel trailer, and for a time had no power, no water. It was really, really, really tough. And we were in a spot, and so somebody put up a GoFundMe for us, and I was very, ashamed and embarrassed about it, but also after prayer felt like that was, go ahead and let that continue. And we were, had got great support. It was awesome. People were very, very kind. And one of the best ones, frankly, again, was not the amount, it was the source. A friend of mine that I have known for a very long time, went to school together, and he had some, addiction issues, and ended up actually in prison twice in Texas as a result of narcotics charges. And so he's, and he not too long ago had gotten out on his second stint, and so he's really, he's doing the NA AA thing and really pushing hard. and But he wasn't in the best of circumstances himself. But he sent cash, just like a little bit of cash, directly in the mail. And on two occasions, right, and a long letter, and it was unbelievably touching. So Donald Wright, thank you for that. It touched me deeply. And then I just saw recently he had just lost his job of 4 years, and so I was better in a position to send him a little bit more, and so I was able to really bless him. And it felt so good, right? It just hit him at just the right time, and so even though it got delayed in the mail, and it felt amazing. So far better than the receiving was the giving. To be able to do that for him was such a blessing to me, right? And I just was thinking about that this morning, how in the last couple of weeks, again, I do this as a gift to the community, and in hopes that people want to receive it. If nobody wants it, right, there's no point in doing it. I'm clearly not doing it for the money, and certainly not doing it to get my name out there, since I don't use it. I mean, many of you know who I am, but again, I've always said the messenger is more, or the message is far more important than the messenger. So I just kind of wanted to keep that little bit of separation there. So it wasn't, again, it's not about building my name up or anything like that. It's just to share these things and to offer the opportunity for people to come together and enjoy some of these things, and hopefully, again, share some of the insights that I've gained on my time during my time here. If that's helpful for folks, and when they tell me it is, it feeds me. And so I was so thankful and grateful for the wonderful group of people that you are. I just wanted to begin the day by again just thanking all of you, and just really point out, if no one has told you recently, how amazing you are and how important you are to this community. Just being here, being a part of it, and those of you who share the shows, again, not just mine, but other content creators in the community who put stuff forth, how you support them, both financially and with kind words and encouragement. It is these, again, one of the things that hit me when I first started doing the Awakening Project and reading these stories of people and your stories is just how what amazing people you are, and how transparent, and how just the ethics of the people. Once you take a different worldview, once you have the temerity to acknowledge that you've been wrong in your views, and to accept something new that is going to ultimately kind of destroy your life, right? When you accept a different worldview and realize that you've been lied to, and suddenly you become kind of the one-eyed man in the land of the blind, and what it does to you, the isolation and ostracism that you receive from other people, often even within your own family. I know Sue has gone through this as well within her own family, brothers and sisters and cousins and nieces and nephews who call you the crazy conspiracy theorist, right? Get your tinfoil hat. And but you guys have powered through it. And not only that, you have made amongst yourselves this amazing tight-knit family. And I love it. And I want you to know how much I personally appreciate who you are and what you do. And I wanted to share this with you. I just kind of got this glimpse. Again, knowing how I do, and I have said before, right, when I talk about spiritual things of a spiritual nature, and mention Dad and even Jesus, which I know bugs people, but it's just kind of, again, the way that I see it and the way that I try to share it, right, is that again, I have no inclination to try to force the ideas on anybody. But if I see a lifeboat on a sinking ship, I would definitely want to point those people that I care about to that. And so understanding that it is through love, right? It's the compassion and the love of the Creator that all these things come. And I just was reminded of this verse from Zephaniah. It says, "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves, and He takes great delight in you. In His love, He calms all your fears, and He rejoices over you with singing and dancing." And I love that, singing and dancing. And just imagining the Creator singing and dancing over us is almost brings me to tears, as well as Kevlar, you too. That seriously, I don't just say that, right, to not blowing smoke. It is true. I really so appreciate you guys, and the kind words that people often send along is amazing, right? And again, food for my soul and for my spirit. So I just wanted to begin the day by saying thank you to all of you who are here, especially regularly, and who leave nice comments. And again, it is my desire that it's helpful to you, and so that's just wanted to begin with that thought. So we'll now begin from, let's see, we'll do the 28th chapter of Proverbs. Let me kind of flip over here, and you can join along with me here. We'll do that. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. When a land rebels, there are many leaders, but a person with understanding brings order. Poor people who oppress the needy are rain that washes away food. Those who abandon instruction praise the wicked, but those who follow instruction battle them. Evil people don't understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand everything. It's better to be poor and walk in innocence than to be on a crooked path and wealthy. Intelligent children follow instruction, but those who befriend gluttons shame their parents. Those who become rich through high interest rates gather money for those who are generous to the poor. And those who turn their ears from hearing instruction, even their prayers, are detested. Whoever misleads those who do right onto an evil path will fall into their own pit, but the blameless will inherit good things. Rich people think they're wise, but an insightful poor person sees right through them. When the righteous rejoice, there is great respect, but people hide when the wicked prosper. Those who hide their sins won't succeed, but those who confess and give them up will receive mercy. Happy are those who are continually fearful. The proper word there is reverent. But those whose hearts are hard fall into trouble. A wicked ruler over the poor is like a growling lion or a prowling bear. A prince without understanding is a cruel oppressor, but one who hates unjust gain will live long. If someone feels guilty about murder, don't hold them back from fleeing to the pit. Those who walk in innocence will be saved, but those who go on twisted paths will fall into the grave. Those who work the land will have plenty to eat, but those with worthless pursuits will have plenty of poverty. Reliable people will have abundant blessings, but those with get-rich-quick schemes won't go unpunished. Those who show favoritism aren't good. People do wrong for a crust of bread. The stingy try to get rich fast, unaware that loss will come to them. Those who correct someone will in the end find more favor than those with flattering tongues. Those who steal from their father and mother and say, "It's not a crime," are friends of vandals. Greedy people stir up conflict, but those who trust the Lord become prosperous. Those who trust in their own reasoning are fools, but those who walk in wisdom will be kept safe. Those who give to the poor lack nothing, but those who turn a blind eye will be greatly cursed. When the wicked rise up, people hide, but when they are destroyed, the righteous multiply. Some of my favorites from the book of Proverbs. Welcome, David Best. Hopefully we'll talk to you a little bit later this morning. I'm trying to get that. Sorry I didn't send you a note. I'll do that in a bit. Welcome, Joe, Ray. Glad you're here, Timeless Journey. If you haven't yet, go over and give a sub to Timeless Journey. He's long done music for retirement centers and bringing them some joy, and playing classics from all the time periods. And recently, of course, with the beer bug, they've not allowed him to do that. So his primary source of income was wiped out. Again, not asking for any money for him, just go give him a sub for his channel, and he's trying to build some stuff up there. So that would be helpful to him. And again, Joe and I wrote tons of songs, over 100 songs we wrote together between the mid 80s and late 90s. And so with our friend Jim, who has unfortunately passed 23 years ago this last week. So anyway, Joe's a good friend of mine, and so if you drop by his channel and just give him a sub and a like, that'd be super great, and it would help him out tremendously. All right, so we'll come back here, revisit 28 again in the Message. And again, the Message is a translation that it is more of a paraphrase, and so the transliteration is not quite as good, but in some places it really hits home pretty well. I don't recommend it as the only source that if you're going to study, but in some places it does a pretty good job. In some places I think it misses, but in any case, we'll take a look at that, because I think it does have an interesting way of putting a couple of these ideas. So we'll pick up again here with Proverbs 28. The wicked are edgy with guilt, and they're ready to run off even when no one's after them. But honest people are relaxed and confident, bold as lions. When the country is in chaos, everybody has a plan to fix it. Your politicians. Here's the deal. I have the best plan. Everybody says my plans are the best. But it takes a leader of real understandings to straighten things out. The wicked who oppress the poor are like a hailstorm that beats down the harvest. If you desert God's law, you're free to embrace depravity. But if you love God's law, you'll fight for it tooth and nail. Justice makes no sense to the evil-minded. Those who seek God know it inside and out. It's better to be poor and direct than rich and crooked. Practice God's law. Get a reputation for wisdom. Hang out with a loose crowd and you're going to embarrass your family. You can get as rich as you want through cheating and extortion, but eventually some friend of the poor is going to give it all back to them. God has no use for the prayers of people who won't listen to him. If you lead good people down a wrong path, you'll come to a bad end. Do good, and you'll be rewarded for it. The rich think they know it all, but the poor can see right through them. When good people are promoted, everything is great, but when the bad are in charge, watch out. You can't whitewash your sins and get by with it. You'll find mercy by admitting and leaving them. A tender-hearted person lives a blessed life, and a hard-hearted person lives a hard life. Lions roar and bears charge, and the wicked lord it over the poor. Among leaders who lack insight, abuse abounds, but for the one who hates corruption, the future is bright. A murderer is haunted by guilt. Or rather, a murderer haunted by guilt is doomed. There is no helping him. Walk straight, live well, and be saved. A devious life is a doomed life. Work your garden, and you'll end up with plenty of food. Play and party, and you'll end up with an empty plate. Committed and persistent work pays off, but get-rich-quick schemes are rip-offs. I thought about that this morning and saying, I've met a number of people who were in stuff like, Amway or, any number of multi-level marketing things. I've never yet, other than somebody, like on a stage or whatever, saying that they were making a bunch of money, I've never yet met anybody who made a fortune doing that. You don't see them in Forbes, other than perhaps those who founded the company and taking the money of everyone else. Yeah, I'm sure some of them probably have legitimate product or whatever, but for the most part, the idea of get-rich-quick schemes, they usually end poorly. Playing favorites is always a bad thing. You can do great harm in seemingly harmless ways. A miser in a hurry to get rich doesn't know that he'll end up broke. In the end, serious reprimand is appreciated far more than bootlicking flattery. Anyone who robs their father and mother and says, "What's wrong with that?" they're worse than a pirate. A grasping person stirs up trouble, but trust in God brings a sense of well-being. If you think you know it all, you're a fool for sure. Real survivors learn wisdom from others. Or, to quote a song, if I claim to be a wise man, it surely means that I don't know. Talked about that a bit yesterday. Be cautious. Be discerning. Be generous to the poor, and you'll never go hungry. Shut your eyes to their needs, and you'll run a gauntlet of curses. When corruption takes over, good people go underground. But when the crooks are thrown out, it's safe to come out. Chapter 29. For people who hate discipline and only get more stubborn, there'll come a day when the life tumbles in and they break. But by then it's too late to help them. When good people run things, everyone is glad. But when the ruler is bad, everyone groans. If you love wisdom, you'll delight your parents, but if you'll destroy their trust if you run with whores. A leader of good judgment gives stability. An exploiting leader leaves a trail of waste. A flattering neighbor is up to no good. He's probably planning to take advantage of you. Evil people fall into their own traps. Good people run the other way, glad to escape. The good-hearted understand what it's like to be poor, while the hard-hearted haven't the faintest idea. A gang of cynics can upset a whole city. A group of sages can calm everyone down. A sage trying to work out things with a fool gets only scorn and sarcasm for his trouble. Murderers hate honest people, while moral folks encourage them. A fool lets it all hang out, while a sage quietly mulls it over. When a leader listens to malicious gossip, all the workers get infected with evil. The poor and their abusers have at least this in common: they can both see their sight is God's gift. Leadership gains authority and respect when the voiceless poor are treated fairly. Wise discipline imparts wisdom. Spoiled adolescents embarrass their parents. When degenerates take charge, crime runs wild. But the righteous will eventually observe their own collapse. Discipline your children, you'll be glad you did. They'll turn out to be a delight to live with. If people can't see what God is doing, they stumble all over themselves, but when they attend to what He reveals, they are most blessed. It takes more than talk to keep workers in line. Mere words go in one ear and out the other. Observe the people who always talk before they think. Even simpletons are better off than they are. If you let people treat you like a doormat, you'll be quite forgotten in the end. Angry people stir up a lot of discord. The intemperate stir up trouble. Pride lands you flat on your face. Humility prepares you for honors. Befriend an outlaw and become an enemy to yourself. When the victims cry out, you'll be included in their curses if you're a coward to their cause in court. The fear of human opinion disables, but trusting in God protects you from that. Oh man, is that true? Man, I can go an hour on that. Everyone tries to get help from the leader, but only God gives justice. Good people can't stand the sight of deliberate evil, and the wicked can't stand the sight of well-chosen goodness. He that being often reproved hardens his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Whosoever loves wisdom causes his father to rejoice, but he that maintains harlots shall lose his inheritance. The king by judgment establishes the land, but he that receives gifts shall overthrow it. The man that flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his own feet. In the transgression of an evil man there is a snare, but the righteous shall sing and rejoice. The righteous considers the cause of the poor, but the wicked does not understand wisdom. Scornful men bring a city into a snare, but wise men turn away wrath. If a wise man contends with a foolish man, whether he rages or laughs, there is no rest. The bloodthirsty hate the perfect, but the just seek his soul. The fool gives full rein to his spirit, but the wise man in the end will bring it to rest. Of the ruler who hearkens unto the lying word, all his ministers are evil. The poor and the usurer meet together. The Lord lightens both their eyes. The king that judges the poor with truth, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself shall bring his mother to shame. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases, but the righteous shall see their fall. Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. He shall be a delight to thy soul. Without prophetic vision, the people will perish, but he that keeps the law is blessed. A slave will not be corrected by words, for though he understands, he will not obey. Seest thou a man that is hasty in his words? There's more hope of a fool than for him. He that gives freely unto his slave from a child shall have him become his son in the end. The angry man stirs up strife, and the furious man abounds in transgression. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Whoever is partner with a thief hates his own soul. He hears cursing and does not disclose it. The fear of man brings a snare, but whoever puts his trust in the Lord shall be lifted up. Many seek the ruler's favor, but each man's judgment comes from the Lord. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in his way is an abomination to the wicked. Let's dwell on just those two thoughts for a moment. We'll make that kind of the meditation of the day. On the first one, I said I could probably go to an hour just on that one. That is absolutely true. This idea that it's often been put this way: it's not what I think that matters, nor what you think that matters, but what I think you think that matters, usually. And that is the fact that people usually seek the approval of others. And often these, again, are subtle things. So I call it, you dance to get the cheese, right? Everybody wants to get that cheese of acceptance and to feel that they have approval in the eyes of others. And understand that most people do things not because of others, but because of their own reasons. So when you change your life to meet the expectations of others, you are living your life literally on the script of other people who neither know nor want the best for you. They simply want what makes things easy for them. And so essentially you are being a doormat to the entire world without ever pursuing your own heart. Again, I'm not saying that you should be selfish in your ways, but it is, you flip that over, it's not the fear of men and trying to please them, but if you try to please the Creator in your ways, you will certainly be pleasing to men with the acceptance of, go down to verse 27, those who are unjust. Right? And I have found this to be true throughout my life. That, again, we would say it is, the vibe draws your tribe, if you will. But those deep calls unto deep and spirit unto spirit, we tend to draw those who are like us to us, and much like the polarity of which I spoke of yesterday, right? So positive and negative can attract, but it also, when you have two similar things, right, they'll push each other away. But when you get a vibe that is not the same, they reject one another, right? Somebody will rub you the wrong way. That's often been the case when very good people come in contact with bad people. It harms their conscience, and it makes them look bad. And they cannot stand it. And I'm not clapping myself on the back at all, but I'm saying the more that I pursue Dad and trying to be love, the more it does tend to offend some people. Again, other people, it attracts them more because they at least sense the sincerity in it, even when I fail, sometimes miserably, but at least the intention is there to provide caring, compassion, and genuine love to those around me, especially those who least deserve it. And man, does that offend some people. And I just, again, I have to let it go. I'm not really that concerned about what other people think. And again, I'm not unconcerned about it in like a sociopathic sort of way, like, fuck you guys. That's not how it is. But I simply don't alter my behavior based on what I think other people want from me. I am very focused on what will please Dad. Again, not because I am afraid of punishment, but because I love them and I want to please them in a way that shows delight. And as I said this morning, it was such a delight to me to be able to give to others. The joy that that brings is phenomenal, far more than the receiving. The receiving is with gratitude, and it certainly is amazing and delightful to receive gifts, especially in unexpected gifts in the moment that you exactly needed them. But to be able to give to others is so fulfilling in ways that I think you can only understand truly if you have been there yourself when you do it. When you give from a place that brings you delight, right? You're not doing it to get anything in return, expecting nothing in return, and especially when you know that the other person cannot pay you back in any way, right? That is the best. It is such joy to be able to do that, and that is my hope, right? I would want for everyone, and I would have to say that again, in my experience, the only way that comes is through a relationship with Dad, because Dad just changes your heart, right? Just reaches right in, and usually it comes in a painful way. Because they have a tendency to strip out all the things that you built yourself that you're proud of, because that's not useful. It is the things that you were designed to be before you developed all these poor coping mechanisms. So it is my experience that sitting at the feet of the Creator and trying to understand the nature of love has inexorably changed me forever in ways that I could never have guessed or understood. So, yeah, right, Zach. It is one of it's one of my favorite things, right? Is to when you can give without when there's no way the other person can pay it back. And especially when they weren't expecting it, right? It is just joy beyond description. And the more I think that if we're able to do that for one another, that shows our character. And this is one of the primary basis of the chat that I had yesterday, which is how, using discernment to understand people's motivations, look at the way they behave toward others, not just what they say. This is advice I gave to my daughter when she began to date. I said, ignore everything they say, everything, right? Good, bad, indifferent, ignore everything they say and look only at what they do. Right? That's how you can tell. And especially if you go out to a date, look how they treat the waitstaff. That will tell you. I used to say I could tell everything I needed to know somebody about someone by playing around with golf with them. Because you'll know right away if they take it seriously, or if they cheat, or if they're goofy, if they swear, right? Like if they could become super angry, if they care what you think, or if they're just doing it for show. If they're a show off, you can tell so much about somebody by that, because again, the game isn't, again, other people, it's you against the course. And that was always very telling to me. But that was advice I gave to my daughter, not playing golf, but to, again, ignore everything a person says and look only at what they do, especially how they treat people, especially how they treat people who are, servants, right? Or, you would say beneath them or whatever. That is how you can really tell the nature of a person, how they treat children and animals. Tells you an enormous amount about people. So I encourage that as a point of discernment for your lives, is to look around at those around you, and irrespective of what they say, they'll certainly tell you things, but you can certainly tell much more by what they do. And it is, again, has far less to do with what someone claims that they believe, but it's the overflow. As Jesus said, it's from the abundance of a man's heart that come his works, right? For both good or evil. And that is how you know. It's whatever is in a person's heart. If they're angry and bitter, they're going to behave in an angry and bitter way. If they're full of love, then they will respond in love, even to and especially in difficult circumstances, rather than for themselves. So that is, if I were to give any guidance or advice, which I am usually want to do, right? I'm usually cautious about that. But I did have a message this morning. Yeah, Mark, exactly. So again, invisible enemy equals spiritual war. Yeah, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities and wickedness in high places. But had a friend send me a text message yesterday about something, and so I said I would pray about it overnight, and I did. And so here's basically the answer. Just take a look at Proverbs 31. Just read Proverbs 31 and glean what you can out of that. I think that will answer your questions to the fullest. So again, I always defer to the wisdom of Dad, and I think this is a good place to do that as well. So take a look at Proverbs 31. I think you'll find the answer there. All right, so with that, hey, again, Creation Bear and Jeremy Stewart, Sue Finelli, I just love your heart and love those that conversation you had with the guy yesterday. That was awesome. Jason, Gay, and Winston, and Kevlar, and all the usual suspects, Megzi, Zach, again, thank you so much for sharing the foraging stuff this morning. That's just great information, Mark Bloom. Always enjoy your writing, and when you send stuff along, it's just it's fabulous. And you always get me thinking. Awakened Mind and How Did We Get Here? And Francis, everybody, again, thank you so much for joining me this morning. And I love that we can all kind of hang out together. And yeah, lots of legends in the chat. I mean, yeah, we're the best. Brian Stavely, we're the fucking best. But yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll end where we began, which is to encourage you, if I can, to just know how powerful you are, right? The enemy wouldn't be after you if he didn't fear you. You have power. And that is not the power, the kind of power that you're going to harm or lord over other people, but the kind of power that when your intention behaves like, I used to just call it spiritual hand grenades, right? The holy hand grenade of Antioch. No, but when your intention reaches out into the ether and physically manifests itself around you, and the more people that do that, the more it changes the world around you, and the darkness can't get in, right? You don't hide light under a bushel. You put it on a candlestick and light up the whole room. And you are the light in the world. You are the light. Your love manifests itself around you. And the greater love that you have for others, the greater power that you have. And this is power under, not power over, right? You're not slapping people upside the head with your power. Your power is the calmness and the peace and the love and tranquility and the encouragement and the wisdom that you show to those around you. You are a powerful being, and you are created in the image of the Most High and the biggest, most expansive, the only infinite thing in the universe, and you are made in their image. And that is why the enemy hates you, right? Because you have the power to create, and you have the power of life within you, right? Because it's been given to you. And so to encourage the power of others and to take your light, that flame, and to light others aflame with that, and to encourage them and to share your love with others, that I think is our highest calling. And I want to just remind you this morning that you are powerful and you are loved by those around you. All of us who gather here weekly, I can sense in the chat that just the care and compassion that we have for one another and encouraging one another. And I want to just, again, applaud that and just give all kinds of approbation for that. Keep it up. Keep it up. You're doing great, kids. How about that? You guys are awesome, and I'm so delighted to be here with you every week and to spend the time with you. And again, in those times where I feel like I want to just take a break and I've been beat down by the world, it is actually coming here that lifts me up, and it is food for my soul. Mojo Shop, absolutely. Love to do that. I got to talk to, I got one on my list today that I missed yesterday. I felt really bad. So David, we'll be chatting here soon. I'll send you a ping and we'll get together before it gets late. So again, my apologies. I had it on my calendar, and I did get a notification yesterday. I just had the wrong calendar open on the wrong device, and so I missed it entirely, and I'm so sorry. But we'll definitely have a chat today. And again, we'll be back in touch, Mojo Shop. And if you guys want to reach out, we'll do that soon. I'll try to, I may even add some stuff this week, and just since I now have this Skype phone number, I can have you guys call in and we'll spend some time together. I love talking to you guys. It's encouraging to me. So with that, again, thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Hope to see you back this evening, 5 p.m. Central. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Time with Wayne McCroy, as we dive again into the goodies, this wisdom that we find in Scripture. And I may have a couple of left turns, as I sometimes do. I'll see what he says when I throw that holy hand grenade at him. But remember that you are powerful, and your power is found in your love for others. And again, this is something that comes from the Creator to you and flows through you, around you, right? So you're not the source of it, but you're a conduit of it. And the more that you give away, the more comes to you. So you cannot ever outgive the blessings that Dad has for you and the love, right? The more that you give, the more that He gives to you, and you have more capacity. So if you grab onto it tightly with both fists, you can't you can't get any more. But if you open your arms to let it go, there is just something about letting it go that is the most freeing, beautiful thing imaginable. So with that, I wish you a really lovely day. And again, we hope to see you again back this evening at 5 p.m. And thanks again, and I will see you then. Have a great day. Love you guys.
Inside you, whatever goes round.